Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me on this walk today. It's good that it isn't raining, so we've been missing these the last few weeks. So let's do a bit of exercise. Yahoo! Now, it is lockdown 2 at the moment, at least in the UK, but you're allowed to go for a walk if it is for exercise. So this is for exercise, isn't it? And if anyone sees me, the camera is strictly for weightlifting purposes, so I can maintain my He-Man like figure. And I think there's not a court in the land that wouldn't believe that. Now, last time we went on this particular walk, a few weeks ago, we got to the end of it and we had to turn back because it was closed off, because the field we go uphill was closed for drainage, which I later found out has been drained because there's doing a vineyard there. Now, I'm not sure if that's still going to be happening. How long does it take to drain a field? Not too long. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, a vineyard round here sounds ludicrous, but who knows? Perhaps they've got the soil. So interesting to see what's developed there. Now, it's a public footpath through this supposed vineyard now, and the last thing they'll want is people walking through a vineyard because it causes damage. So I'm quite interested to see what's going to happen there, whether they make it awkward to get across, but it's still a public footpath, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Now, there's not too many people about today. I was thinking that people weren't taking lockdown 2 as seriously as before, but there's much less people on this walk than what I'd normally expect. So maybe, just maybe, people are being sensible this time. There's hope for the human race yet. We may just survive. Now, I hope you are faring well and your health's okay. I think on a previous walk I was having problems with my knee, which fortunately seems to have healed now, which is pretty good. Apologies if there's any wind on the camera. It's all that happens sometimes when we're outside and the sound might duck down and up again, but hopefully you can hear me okay. Generally it's okay, but there might be a few bits here. But getting back to my knee, I think I knew how I did it. I mean, the swelling's gone down. It was only a smaller bit of swelling, but when I was at work, I was, it's a bit innocuous this, I was crushing a box and I couldn't rip it apart because it was a reinforced box, it's like fruit comes in. And it's because I couldn't do it to put it in a cardboard bailey, I started to put it on the floor and I started stamping it with my leg. And I think, not knowing at the time, I was like jarred it and it's caused some sort of spraining. And because I was walking on it for some time, it was like freezing up and repairing itself. But the body is an amazing thing. I get the slight twinge every now and again, but I think it's healing. I think that's what it was, rather than anything terrible. I know when I was 18 I had an infection there which was wrongly diagnosed as chronic rheumatoid arthritis and I could hardly walk. So when you get things like that you think that's going to be forever. So fortunately it's not any thing like that, it's nothing serious. I'm glad to report. You might have noticed I'm walking quite quickly on this walk when I do the camera on my legs, so that's absolutely fine. So barring any pterodactyl attack or dinosaur attack, we should be okay, and even so I can walk away. So look after yourself and don't crush boxes with your feet, maybe set fire to them, I don't know. Just talking about my job again, it's really thrown a spanner in the works with running the channel. I'm doing okay, but you have to, whenever you get some spare time, I have to plan it to military precision, and my shifts have been swapping around the place. So I plan it to military precision, say those 2 hours I'm going to do such and such, and then I get a phone call saying we swap the shifts around coming in the evening. Now the evening is causing a bit of trouble for, live streaming. Hopefully next week, I keep saying this, but I never know what's happening. Hopefully next week will be okay. I'm sort of like catching up back again with the recorded stuff. I'm almost there, so fingers crossed next week will be good, because I want to give you some live streams with the lockdown too, because it helps, doesn't it, to morale and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, let's get going.
This is Kylo Ren of the First Order. I am a fan of Channel N Jenkins. I watch it to ease my stress. I've even incorporated some of his catchphrases to make my day better on the battlefield. Hooray! And also, step on it, Big Nose.
Ah yes, this all seems familiar. It's good to know that it isn't wet anywhere, there's no mud, it's all pretty dry down here. I think the drainage here is pretty much okay because it's all slightly downhill, just it makes it a little bit problematic if it's a little bit wet. Now I think I've gone the wrong, oh yeah, this is still okay, we're going the right way. I've been on this walk so many times, it's just the excitement, oh, there's a ditch there, where did that come from? Just the excitement is whether we can complete the walk or that crazy vineyard's there. If so, maybe they'll give me, I don't know, maybe a bottle of wine or something. I think it's still in the early stages. I mean, how long do you have to have a vineyard before you get a bottle of wine? A while, I would have thought. Whee. Okay, look, no showing off. The knee's only just about better. It's only just about better. You don't want to fall over here. Now, this is one thing that annoys me. There's obviously been people here, and it's quite nice in nature. And there's like rubbish there. There's a empty can of beer, one there as well. I mean, who comes to a secluded spot like this and just leaves rubbish? It's people that don't give a rat's arse, I think. Ridiculous. Anyway, so what's been going on in the world? Well, it's hard to escape the US election, which I won't go too deeply in because it's not that kind of a channel, but I will touch on it. Trump versus Biden. At time of recording, it looks like, well, what to believe, it looks like Trump's gradually losing. So he's throwing his toys out the pram, and quite as expected, he's saying that the election is fraud, stop the vote, and all those sorts of things. He was never going to go quietly. It was always going to get messy if he ever got outvoted. If he'd won, fair enough. Well, we still don't know. This might be going live and it's declared that he's won. But he's saying he's taken it to court, which is actually ridiculous. I mean, the allegations are unsubstantiated, but people generally believe this sort of stuff, and it's causing sort of like riots in what's supposed to be one of the most democratic countries in the world. Yeah, it's stirring up distrust, and then rumours spread, and then stories come up. Things like fake ballots, where ballots have been sent to the dead or something, and people have been voting on their behalf. Don't know who they're going to vote in, and people that no longer live in the States have been sent papers, but none of this has been proven. This is also like rumour mill, and I think in one of Donald Trump's press conferences, the news channels. Or one of them at least, just cut him off because they said it was so false of unsubstantiated facts and fake facts. So he is prepared. He runs the presidency like he does his businesses. He's prepared to say absolutely anything in order for Trump to win. I'm hoping that the result is called soon and there's calm, because you don't want rioting across America. Apparently a gunman was stopped before going. I think it might have been Pennsylvania or one of the others. There who stopped going up there, and you know, it's the nutcases. You give false information like Trump's doing, the nutcases think things are going on, and they will take matter into their own hands. Absolutely crazy stuff. My knee's okay though, that's good, isn't it? Ooh. Okay, it's certainly feeling a bit colder nowadays as we get into November. Well, we're deep in November, aren't we, really? I think I might need my bigger coat soon. It's not below 0, but it's not particularly warm either. I certainly wouldn't set up a hot tub here. If you are in this woods, somewhere in a hot tub, then comment below. Now, if you've seen any of these other videos, you know where this walk goes, don't you? We go onto the motorway now, which I won't film to get too noisy, and then we cut back onto the walk a bit further up. Okay. There's a sort of like dog sanctuary for people that go on holiday, but there's no dogs there now because no one is going on holiday. Big surprise. Ah, there we go. You can't beat a good, what's it called? A Styles on a walk. You can't beat them. Lee's not going to have any problems this time. Boof. Taking the racing line, clips the apex, folding round, come down sharp left, over the styes again, through the thorn bushes. Have they cut them? Yes, they have. Result. Oh, bit of wind through here. Okay, let's take a brief rest here. I think in last week's, well, it wasn't a walk, is it? It was inside last week because it was raining. I talked quite a bit about space, water found on the moon, the sunlit side, so I think there's quite a lot of water up there. And I often follow a bit of space news because there's so much of it. I think experts now think in our own Milky Way there's about 300,000 inhabitable planets potentially, and I think life's probably there, a lot of them. You put a planet in the Goldilocks zone, so not too hot, not too cold, where life can thrive, and put enough water there, it's probably pretty strong sense if you leave the planet alone for a few billion years, something's going to develop, even if it's microbe form or bacterial life. Advanced civilizations, not quite sure about that one. But as well as the habitable planets, they also find planets that are a bit weird, not so habitable, and I find those equally as interesting. I don't know if you heard about this one, it's a bit obscure news. They found an exoplanet, so a planet outside our own solar system, where it's like a hellish world, the hottest planet they've ever discovered because it's so close into its parent star. The temperature there is over 3,000 degrees centigrade, so it wouldn't take too long to bake a potato there, probably a nanosecond if you can wait that long, if a microwave's too slow for you. The planet's called K2-141b, I know, catchy. I would have called it Donald or something, not after Donald Trump, let's think of something else, after Donald Duck, that'll do. And it's got oceans of lava, which might be as many deep as 30 to 60 kilometres deep, so always all right for a nice swim, but not too long. The heat is so hot there it vaporises rock, which then rains down. So raining rock, if you can imagine such a thing. I'm not sure you've been on worse holidays. So it's only I'm not quite sure how many light years away. It's fairly close, astronomical terms, but it'd take a bit too long to go there on the bus or hot air balloon. But it's called K2-141b. Oceans of lava, a hellish planet, which you know, makes Earth not sound so bad really. If you compare it to where I am now, it doesn't compare really. So 300,000 habitable worlds, and then we've got planets like that as well. Right, now it's coming up to the bit where it's the vineyard that's was closed off. Let's see now. Looks a bit neater through here straight away. Let's have a look. Right, so there's still a bit of drainage going on, I can see from that pipe, but it is open. Looks like it's ringed off with that blue wire, so we should be able to walk up there. Looks like, look, you can see that they've ploughed bits as well, potentially there, so it's in rows for the vineyard on steps. So that's going to be fairly interesting. So let's get over here. Careful. Yes, drainage going on. Now it's very muddy along here from what they're doing. Normally this is the area where I'd stop and do the shout outs. Maybe I can do it a bit further up, but it's a bit nearer the roads. We'll see how it goes on there. I've had to double back to the park to do the shout outs. There's a bit of activity near the vineyard and I felt a bit conscious filming there. Despite it's just a load of overturned earth, people are doing stuff, and you know, they might get suspicious because who would suspect someone to do a YouTube video talking rubbish there? They wouldn't, would they? No. Okay, let's do some shout outs, and these for members of the channel which are helping me go forward, helping the channel move, because without that, well, potentially the whole thing could finish, so thank you for supporting it in that way. As you know, I've got part-time work to try and support the thing, but it's always a challenge to keep going. So huge thank you to everyone that's a member, starting from $1.99 and above, and people that are second tier and above, of course, I will give you a shout out anything that you're doing if you want me to, any games you're working on, sites or events even outside of the internet, although I expect with lockdown too there isn't too much going on. So yes, so members on second tier and above, huge thanks to everyone. Claire Johnson, James O'Grady, thank you very much. John Roby, Jeffrey Searby, I think you're all great. Martin Reimel, Stuart Laycott, Steve Norman, written all these down and Walter hasn't got on them this time, which is a bonus. Lemmy Barnett, thank you everyone. I know I speak to a lot of you on Twitter as well. Neil Barrett, Stephen Q, NEUK, thank you sir, much appreciated. Phil Hill, Rossi Bossy, yeah, thumbs up to everything that you're doing at the moment, games-wise. Show No Baggy, Greyholt 2, Jason Holmes and Andrew Gibson. So thank you guys. And there's 4 of you amazingly that are on the top tier, which is, well, yeah, it's a massive help to the channel, this one. Richard Mitten, thank you. Tom, excellent. Jules Monkton and Graham Bebke, my friend from Australia. And Jules Monkton, she has a number of sites going, quite frequently change the link to what she's up to, so she's a very busy person. But the link I'm putting up this time round is schoolreading70sbooks.weebly.com. So that's schoolreading70sbooks.weebly.com. I'll put a link up on the screen there, which hopefully you can see. And it's recently been upgraded, this site, with extra links on it as well. Deals in kids' storybooks, not just school books, range from the 30s to the 80s, and there might be a few other things in there as well. So yeah, thank you to members. If you want to become a member on the channel, see what it's all about, click on the join button. I think there's a video there, it doesn't commit you straight away, so you can see what that's all about. There'll be some videos going up on Saturday, of course, like there always is, a couple of ZX Spectrum games, and Sunday there'll be a couple of games as well on Amiga and something else. If you're a member, you already know what videos are going up because you get the special members video that goes up at some point on a Sunday. So thank you for coming for my walk. It hasn't rained yet, so we'll get back in, I'll edit this stuff together. And yeah, let the fun continue. I'm sort of like catching up. I want to do live streams next week. I don't think I've got any evening shifts, but I might be a bit clever with my phone just in case they swap things around. So next time, have a great weekend. I'm in work Saturday and Sunday, but only for a few hours. And I'm coming home at, well, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, hopefully. So till next time, take great care of yourself. Thanks again, and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye, E.
And Jenkin.